Some towns in America look so magical in winter. UD swear they were designed by a committee of hot chocolate executives and people who never shoveled a driveway, snow-dusted rooftops, twinkling lights, couples in matching scarves laughing like they've never experienced frostbite. Sounds dreamy, right? Wrong. See, while everyone has double-tapping snowy cabin photos and fantasizing about quitting their job to open a bookstore in Vermont, there's a brutal truth nobody's posting. These cozy winter wonderlands, many of them are frozen hellscapes disguised as Instagram opportunities. We're talking about towns where the wind doesn't blow at assaults, where your heating bill costs more than your mortgage, where the sun clocks out at 3:47 p.m. and doesn't come back until April, where locals don't say good morning, they say did you survive the night, because some of these Hallmark traps come with surprise blizzards, billion-dollar price tags, or neighbors who will literally fight you over a parking spot with a lawn chair. We rate counting down 10 cozy winter towns that are actually a living hell ranked by how aggressively they'll crush your snowy fairy tale dreams. Spoiler alert, you're not ready. Let's break it down. Number 10, Buffalo, New York. Buffalo looks adorable on a postcard. Victorian architecture dusted in white, cozy brew pubs glowing amber through frosted windows. A scrappy underdog city that's making a comeback, or so every travel blog tells you. There's a charming waterfront, friendly locals, and homes so cheap you'll think Zillow's broken. It's basically the city equivalent of a golden retriever wearing a flannel. Yeah, about that snow. Buffalo doesn't just get snow, it gets buried alive by lake effect snow courtesy of Lake Erie, which apparently has a personal vendetta against Western New York. We're not talking cute flurries. We're talking the National Guard just showed up with shovel snow. The kind where your car disappears for 3 days, and you genuinely consider eating your emergency granola bars. Let's crunch the frosty numbers. Buffalo averages 95 inches of snow per year, nearly double the U.S. average. The record? A 77-inch storm in 2022 that literally collapsed roofs. Average January temperature, 25 F, but wind chill can drop that to single digits. Heating cost averaged $100 plus per month, and that's if your pipes don't freeze. On the upside, median home price is around $130,000 cheap by national standards. Cost of living sits 8% below the U.S. average. But here's the kicker, you're paying less because nature is trying to bury you. One local posted, I've lived in Buffalo my whole life. Shoveled my driveway 47 times last winter. My back is destroyed, my will is broken, but hey, at least I can afford a house with a yard to be buried in. Snow isn't even the only problem. Buffalo's economy is still recovering from decades of industrial decline. Job market, limited unless you're in healthcare or education. The city's also dealing with aging infrastructure potholes that could swallow a Prius. And let's talk about the gray from November to March. Buffalo sees an average of just 49 sunny days. You'll forget what the sun looks like. Your vitamin D levels will file for bankruptcy. Picture this, it's 6 a.m. You wake up to your phone buzzing with winter storm warnings. You peek. Outside your car is a white lump. Your street, gone, just gone. You spend hours shoveling, finally clear your driveway. By the time you get back inside, there's already 3 more inches. Your neighbor waves from across the street, mid-shovel, dead-eyed like a man who's seen too much. The plow comes by at 4 p.m. and buries your car again. You cry into your wings. They're the only thing that brings you joy now. Would you trade year-round sunshine for a $230,000 house if it meant shoveling your way to freedom? 6 months a year. Vote below. Yes, bring on the snow. No, I choose vitamin D. Or, only if they include a snowplow. And if you think Buffalo is brutal, the next town will freeze your soul and your face sometimes at the same time. Number 9, Duluth, Minnesota. Duluth is stunning. Perched on the cliffs above Lake Superior, it's got that rugged, outdoorsy vibe that makes flannel-wearing millennials swoon. Craft breweries, hiking trails, a historic downtown that screams I'm quirky, but grounded. There's even a famous lift bridge that rises dramatically like it's auditioning for a movie. Instagram loves Duluth. Travel bloggers call it the San Francisco of the Midwest. It's basically a Subaru commercial come to life. Here's what the bloggers leave out. The air hurts. Lake Superior doesn't just sit there looking pretty, it generates wind that cuts through your coat, your skin, and possibly your skeleton. Duluth isn't cold. Duluth is aggressively, personally, spitefully cold. Locals don't check the temperature. They check the feels like because the actual number is irrelevant when wind chill is involved. Duluth averages 87 inches of snow annually. Average January high, a brisk 19 F. But wind chill regularly drops to minus 20 F or lower. The coldest recorded temperature was minus 39 F in 1996 without wind chill. Heating bills, planned for $150 monthly in peak winter. The city also ranks among the cloudiest in America, with only 100 sunny days per year. Cost of living is 7% below average, median home price around $165,000. But isolation is real. Minneapolis is 2.5 hours away, and that's your closest major city. A Duluth resident once posted, "I walked to my car this morning, and my nostril hairs froze together before I reached the driveway. I've lived here 12 years. I don't know why. I think the cold has broken something in my brain." Beyond the freeze, Duluth has isolation issues. The nearest target is a pilgrimage. The job market is thin. Healthcare, education, tourism. That's about it. And speaking of tourism, summer brings hordes of visitors clogging the one main road like it's a theme park entrance. Oh. And winter. The sun sets at 4:30 p.m. in December. Seasonal affective disorder isn't a joke here, it's a lifestyle. Imagine this. You step outside to grab the mail. It's 3 p.m. but already getting dark. The wind off Lake Superior hits your face like an open palm slap from Mother Nature herself. Your eyes water. Those tears freeze. You're now crying ice. You look up at the sky gray. Always gray. You haven't seen the sun in 11 days. You go back inside, make tea, and stare at a lamp like it's a long-lost friend. The lamp doesn't judge. The lamp understands. Would you survive in a town where the air is literally painful and the sun ghosts you for months? Yes, I own thermals. No, I need warmth. Or only if the brewery is walking distance. If Duluth is nature attacking you, the next town is tourist attacking your wallet. Number 8. STOWE, Vermont. STOWE. Vermont is basically what happens when a Hallmark movie gains sentience and becomes a zip code. White church steeples against snowy mountains. Covered bridges. Maple syrup everything. It's the kind of town where you half expect to bump into a handsome innkeeper who has secretly a prince. Every storefront looks like it was hand-painted by someone named Thaddeus. The vibes are immaculate. The aesthetic. Chef's kiss. That $20 hot chocolate you're sipping. It's not artisan pricing. It's hostage negotiation. STOWE isn't a town, it's a luxury theme park for wealthy tourists. And you, my friend, are just an extra in their vacation montage. Want to live here? Great. Hope you enjoy 6-hour traffic jams on a 2-lane road, tourists blocking sidewalks for photos, and grocery runs that feel like obstacle courses through matching sweater couples. STOWE averages 80 inches of snow per year, which sounds cozy until you realize the median home price is $875,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for the privilege of shoveling rent. Good luck finding anything under $2,500 a month. A simple dinner outruns $60 plus per person. Median household income is high, but that's because only rich people can afford to stay. Cost of living is 25% above the national average. Traffic on Route 108 during ski season? Up to 3 hours to go 10 miles. One frustrated local wrote, "I work at a restaurant here. The guy who complained about his $18 latte drives a Tesla and owns a third home. I can't afford to live in the town I serve." STOWE isn't a community, it's a backdrop for rich people's Instagram. Let's talk about the tourist invasion. From December to March, STOWE is overrun. Parking. Forget it. That cute cafe. 2-hour wait. And if you actually live here, you're competing with urban landlords who've turned every available home into a vacation rental. The housing crisis is real. And workers often commute an hour just to serve the very people pricing them out. Oh, and the internet. Spotty at best. Apparently rustic charm includes buffering. Picture this. You finally saved enough for a weekend getaway. You drive up to STOWE, excited for cozy vibes. But the road is bumper to bumper with Range Rovers. You wait 2 hours. You park a mile away. You walk through slush to a cafe that charges $20 for avocado toast. There's no seating. So, you stand outside eating with frozen fingers while a family of 5 takes 47 photos of the same. Snowman, you came for magic. You got a tourist trap with better branding. Would you pay $1 million to live in a town that looks like a snow globe, but feels like a crowded airport? Why yes, worth it. No, I'll admire from afar. Or, only if I commend tourists. If STOWE is expensive, the next town makes it look like a budget option. Number 7. Aspen, Colorado. Aspen is the fantasy. Snow-capped peaks, celebrity sightings, world-class skiing, and neighbor ski lounges where everyone looks like they wandered out of a catalog. It's luxurious, glamorous, and possibly beautiful. The kind of place where you imagine reinventing yourself as someone who winters as a verb. Aspen doesn't just have vibes, it has an aura. Unless you're a billionaire or willing to live in your car, Aspen isn't inviting you, it's tolerating you. The wealth gap here is so absurd, it's almost performance art. We're talking about a town where teachers, nurses, and restaurant workers literally sleep in parking lots because housing doesn't exist for normal humans. You're not moving to Aspen. You're visiting Aspen while someone richer owns it. Median home price in Aspen, $5.6 million. Not a typo. Millions. Rent for a basic apartment, $3,500 per month if you're lucky. Median household income is technically high, but that's skewed by the ultra-wealthy. Most workers earn service industry wages while paying premium prices. A dozen eggs, $9. A burger, $28. Gas, don't ask. Snow averages 170 inches per year at higher elevations. Beautiful if you can afford to see it from inside your home and not your Honda Civic. One seasonal worker posted, "I worked in Aspen for a winter. Slept in my car for 2 months because rent was $2,800 for a shared room. Watch billionaires tip $10 on a $400 dinner. The mountain is beautiful. The system is broken. Aspen's economy runs onto things, tourism and wealth. If you're not catering to rich people, you're invisible. Job options outside hospitality are almost non-existent. And let's talk about the altitude. Aspen sits at 8,000 feet. Altitude sickness is real. Shortness of breath, headaches, nausea all common for newcomers. Oh, and parking. $1.50 a day downtown. You want to be a local, but the town's designed for guests. Picture this. You moved to Aspen for the dream. You land a job at a restaurant, excited to ski on your days off. But rent is $3,100 for a bedroom in a house for strangers. You eat ramen. You work doubles. Meanwhile, you serve a guy whose watch costs more than your yearly salary. He complains the champagne is too dry. You smile. You die inside. After 3 months, you move back to Denver. The mountain was beautiful, though. Would you move to Aspen if it meant living in your car to experience luxury? Yes, for the skiing. No, I like having a bed. Or, only if someone sponsors my existence. If Aspen is wealth inequality on skis. The next town is wealth inequality with a side of deadly roads. Number 6, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Jackson Hole looks like God's personal screensaver. The Teton Mountains rise dramatically behind a quaint western town full of art galleries, elk antler arches, and boutiques selling for $100 cowboy boots. It's rugged yet refined, wild yet Instagram ready. The kind of place where you imagine living your best mountain life with a golden retriever and a well-worn Patagonia jacket. Here's the reality. Jackson Hole is where billionaires pushed out millionaires, and millionaires pushed out everyone else. Regular people don't live here, they commute here, sometimes over an hour each way, through mountain passes that are actively trying to kill them. You want charming? Try charming your way past a blizzard on Teton Pass at 6 a.m. Median home price $2.5 million. Rent $2,800 a month for a studio if you're lucky. Most workers live in Idaho and commute over Teton Pass, a winding, steep road that sees 40+ accidents per year, multiple fatalities, and regular closures due to avalanches. Average snowfall in Jackson, 75 inches, but the pass gets 300 inches. Temperature in January averages 16°F. Meanwhile, 97% of Teton County is federal land, meaning almost no housing can be built. Supply is artificially strangled. One commuter wrote, "I drive Teton Pass every day for work. I've seen 3 accidents this month. My coworker slid off the road in December. Nobody talks about it. We just keep driving because there's nowhere to live that we can afford." Beyond the commute of death, Jackson Hole is isolated. The nearest major city, Salt Lake City, 5 hours away. The airport is expensive flying, drain your wallet. Groceries, inflated. Child care, astronomical. And if you think you'll just rent a small place, think again. Short-term vacation rentals dominate the market, squeezing out year-round residents. The town runs on tourism and trophy homes. Everyone else is just passing through. Imagine this. It's 5:30 a.m. Your alarm goes off. You scrape ice from your windshield in Idaho, then drive 45 minutes over a mountain pass in the dark. The road is slick. The guardrail is optimistic. You white-knuckle past a semi that's fishtailing, say a small prayer, and arrive to serve breakfast to a hedge fund manager who flew in on his private jet. He asked if you've ever thought about investing in property here. You laugh. He doesn't understand why. Would you risk your life commuting through avalanche country just to work in a beautiful town you can't afford to live in? Why, yes, mountains are worth it. No, I value survival. Or, only if someone builds me a tunnel. If Jackson Hole is deadly and expensive, the next town is dark, dangerous, and might involve a moose. Number 5, Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is majestic, snow-covered mountains, northern lights, glaciers you can actually visit, and wildlife that makes every day feel like a nature documentary. It's rugged, remote, and wildly beautiful, the kind of place where people move to find themselves and post photos that make everyone back home jealous. It's the last frontier, it's adventure, it's freedom. It's also really, really dark. In December, Anchorage gets about 5.5 hours of daylight, not sunshine daylight. The sun rises at 10 a.m. and sets by 3:45 p.m. Your body clock doesn't just get confused, it files for emotional bankruptcy. Seasonal affective disorder isn't a footnote here. It's the main event. Oh, and moose will attack you. That's not a joke. Moose injure more people in Alaska than bears. Average snowfall, 75 inches per year. Average January low, 9F. Daylight in December, 5 hours and 28 minutes. Heating costs, $250 for $100 month. But here's the twist: Anchorage also has a higher than average violent crime rate. The city's violent crime index is 56.7 compared to the national average of 20.7. Property crime is even worse. Cost of living is 30% above the US average because everything has to be shipped in. Gallon of milk, $5. Avocado, for dollars each. A longtime Anchorage resident posted, "People romanticize Alaska until they race sobbing under a UV lamp in January wondering why they haven't seen the sun in 3 weeks." Also, a moose blocked my driveway for 2 hours last Tuesday. I was late to work. Nobody cared. Classic Anchorage, beyond the darkness and the wildlife warfare. Anchorage has real issues. Mental health services are stretched thin despite high demand. Substance abuse rates are elevated. Isolation takes a toll. The nearest major city is Seattle, a 3-hour flight away. You're not road tripping anywhere. And if you think the summer makes up for it with 20+ hours of daylight, sure. But good luck sleeping when the sun never sets and your brain forgets what night is. Picture this. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in January. You look outside. It's dark. You check your phone. Still 2 p.m. Still dark. You drink your third coffee, stare at a light therapy lamp, and wonder if you'll ever see the sun again. You hear a strange noise outside. A moose is standing in your driveway, judging you. You wait. It doesn't move. You cancel your plans. The moose wins. The moose always wins. Would you trade sunlight for northern lights and constant moose standoffs? Yes. I'm built different. No. I need daylight. Or only if the moose pays rent. If Anchorage is dark and dangerous, the next town will trap you on a highway for 12 hours while your car slowly freezes. Number 4. Truckee, Lake Tahoe, California. Lake Tahoe is the dream. Crystal blue water surrounded by snow-dusted pines, world-class ski resorts, charming mountain towns like Truckee, where you can grab a latte and feel like you've escaped to a winter postcard. It's California's snowy secret, the place Bay Area tech workers fantasize about. While sitting in traffic, it's got the beauty of Colorado without the altitude sickness. What could go wrong? Ever heard of Sierra Cement? That's what locals call the snow here. Dense, heavy, wet snow that doesn't fall so much as a tap. We're talking for 100 inches per year at some elevations, and when it hits, it doesn't just close roads, it buries them. People have been trapped on I-80 for 12+ hours. Cars run out of gas. People ration snacks. It's not a snow day, it's a survival event. Truckee averages to 100+ inches of snow per year. Some storms dump 5 to 7 feet in 48 hours. The record. One Truckee local posted, "Got trapped on 80 for 9 hours last February. Ate a protein bar I found under my seat. Watched a guy in a Tesla slowly lose hope. The plow came at 2 a.m. We cheered like it was the moon landing. Infrastructure here can't keep up. Power goes out. Roads close. Self-service vanishes in storms. And when it's not snowing, it's tourists. Summer and winter, the area is slammed traffic, crowds, overflowing trash cans, and airmen's on every block. Locals call it being loved to death. Housing is increasingly short-term rentals, pushing out workers who keep the town running, want to live the dream, hope you have a generator, a 4-wheel drive, and a remote job with infinite patience. Imagine this. You're driving back from Reno, a storm rolls in, suddenly, I-80 stops, just stops. You're surrounded by trucks, sedans, and panicking tourists and rear-wheel drive cars. Hours pass. You eat stale crackers, your phone dies, the snow piles up past your real wells. By R8, you're bargaining with the universe. The plow arrives at midnight, you cry. Not sad tears, relief tears. You finally understand what Donner Party energy feels like. Would you risk being trapped in a frozen car for half a day just to live near a pretty lake? Yes. Worth it? No, I'll visit. Or, only if I get a helicopter. If Tahoe traps you in snow, the next town traps you in eternal gray. Number 3, Marquette, Michigan. Marquette is the crown jewel of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. A charming college town perched on Lake Superior with stunning sandstone cliffs, craft breweries, and outdoor recreation that rivals anywhere in the country. It's got a tight-knit community, affordable living, enough natural beauty to fill 1,000 screensavers. Northern Michigan University gives it a youthful vibe. What's not to love? The sky. The gray, relentless, soul-crushing sky. Marquette is one of the cloudiest cities in America. From November to April, sunlight becomes a theory rather than a fact. Lake effect snow doesn't just fall, it suffocates. Students show up bright-eyed in September and leave in May looking like they survived a biking winter. It's not just cold, it's cosmically, existentially dark. Marquette averages 150 inches of snow per year, more than Buffalo. Average January high, 20 to F, but wind chill drops it to brutal levels. The city sees only 75 sunny days per year. Heating costs run to $100, $300 a month. Median home price is affordable at $125,000, but that's because demand is limited by weather. Unemployment is slightly above average. Cost of living is 5% below the US average. But here's the thing. Winter lasts 6 months. October through April, you're in survival mode. A&ME student posted, "I came here for cheap tuition. I'm leaving with seasonal depression and an intimate knowledge of what -20 feels like on exposed skin. My therapist is booked until May. I'm layering fleece like it's armor." Beyond the weather, Marquette is isolated. The nearest major city is Green Bay, over 2 hours away. Anything you need that's not locally available. Plan a road trip. Job market is limited to education, healthcare, and tourism, and tourism dies in winter when sane people leave. The U.P. is gorgeous but remote. Flights out are expensive and limited. You're not just living in Marquette, you're committing to Marquette. Picture this. It's February. You haven't seen the sun in 18 days. The sky is the same shade of gray as your mood. You wake up. It's dark. You go to class. It's dark. You come home. Still dark. The wind off Lake Superior rattles your windows like it's trying to break in. Your vitamin D supplements are empty. You stare at your sad lamp like it owes you money. Outside, snow is falling again. Always falling. You wonder if spring is a myth. Would you survive 6 months of gray sky and 150 inches of snow for cheap rent and natural beauty? Yes, I'm tough. No, I need sunshine. Or, only if the lamp is prescription strength. If Marquette is eternal gray, the next town is the light everyone believes about Arizona. Number 2. Flagstaff, Arizona. Flagstaff is Arizona's cozy mountain escape. A charming college town surrounded by ponderosa pines just a short drive from the Grand Canyon. It's got that perfect blend of western ruggedness and hipster coffee culture. Craft breweries, hiking trails, and a historic downtown that screams postcard. Everyone knows Arizona is hot, right? So, Flagstaff must be perfect warm and snowy when you want it. Best of both worlds. Surprise, Flagstaff is not warm. At 7,000 feet elevation, this town gets slammed with snow over 100 inches per year. It's colder than Chicago in winter. That Arizona is hot assumption is a trap. People move here expecting mild winters and end up buried in blizzards, gasping for air because of altitude sickness and wondering why their car won't start at 5F. You thought you escaped winter. Winter found you. Flagstaff averages 100 inches of snow annually. Average January low, 15F. But the altitude 7,000 feet means thinner air, stronger UV, and altitude sickness for newcomers, headaches, nausea, shortness of breath. The city sees regular surprise blizzards that shut down I-40. Median home price, $650,000, not cheap. Cost of living is 15% above average. And unlike Phoenix, there's no escaping to warm Arizona. The drive down is often closed due to snow. One relocated Phoenician posted, "I moved to Flagstaff thinking I'd have mild weather with occasional cute snow. I've shoveled my driveway 30 times this winter. My lungs hate me. I googled altitude sickness, or am I dying at least 4 times? Nobody warned me." Beyond the snow, Flagstaff has affordability issues. Housing demand from no students and remote workers has driven prices up. Traffic on I-40 in winter is a gamble. Closures can strand you for hours. Job market is limited to education, tourism, and healthcare. Want to pop down to Phoenix for a weekend? Cool, if the mountain pass isn't closed. Also, wildfires in summer. Yeah, Flagstaff gets both. Snow and fire. Imagine this. You move from Phoenix, excited for mountain vibes. First week, cute. Second week, a blizzard dumps a feet overnight. You can't find your car. Your head is pounding from the altitude. You try to drive to Sedona for a warm escape. I-17 is closed. You're stuck. You sit in your cold apartment, wheezing slightly, staring at snow falling sideways, wondering why nobody told you Arizona could do this. You text your friend in Tucson. They send you a photo of their sunny patio. You consider arson. You don't commit arson, but you consider it. Would you move to warm Arizona only to discover it's actually a snowy altitude nightmare? Why, yes. The trees are pretty. Nitrogen monoxide. I was lied to. Or, only if oxygen is included. And now, the number 1 spot. The city that doesn't just have winter and has war. Number 1, Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is iconic. World-class architecture reflecting on the frozen lake. A skyline that looks stunning dusted in snow. Deep dish pizza steaming on a cold night. The holiday markets, the ice rinks, the cozy jazz bars. It's the kind of city where you imagine bundling up, sipping hot cocoa, and strolling through Millennium Park while snow falls gently around you. Chicago winters are romantic, right? Meet the hawk. That's what locals call the brutal wind that rips off Lake Michigan and slaps you in the face, like you owe it money. Chicago winter isn't cold, it's violent. The cold doesn't just affect you, it haunts you. And when it snows, the city turns into a slush-covered war zone where neighbors battle over parking spots. With lawn chairs, and your commute becomes an Olympic sport. Chicago averages 37 inches of snow per year, less than Buffalo. But paired with wind chill that regularly drops to minus 20 F or lower. The record, 27 F actual temperature in 1985. The polar vortex of 2019 hit minus 23 F with wind chills of minus 50 F. Schools closed. The CTA struggled. People's doors literally froze shut. Average winter heating bill, $150 to $150 a month. Median home price, $330,000, but that varies wildly by neighborhood. Cost of living is 7% above average. And winter lasts truly miserably from November through April. 6 months of suffering. One Chicagoan wrote, "Someone stole my parking chair, not my chair. I shoveled that spot for 45 minutes. I was ready to fight." The city turns you feral by February. I've never felt more alive or more unhinged. The parking chair thing is real. It's called dibs, and it's an unwritten law. You shovel a spot, you claim it with a chair, cone, or whatever garbage you can find. Move someone's chair. Expect a slashed tire. Beyond that, Chicago has real issues: high property taxes, elevated crime in certain areas, potholes that swallow sedans, and salt damage that rusts cars faster than you believe. The slush is legendary, brown, gross, everywhere in public transit, and deep winter is an experience. Picture this. It's February. You step outside and the hawk hits your face immediately. Wine so cold it feels personal. Your eyes water. Those tears freeze. You waddle through gray slush to the L station, which is inexplicably not heated. The train is delayed. You stand on the platform, shivering, questioning your life. When you finally get home, someone has moved your parking chair. You spend 20 minutes shoveling a new spot. Your neighbor glares. You glare back. This is Chicago. This is war. Would you survive 6 months of wind, slush, and parking chair warfare for deep dish pizza and world-class culture? Yes, I'm built for this. No, I value my sanity. Or, only if I get a permanent spot. So there you have it, 10 cozy winter towns that look like Hallmark movies but feel like survival horror. From Buffalo burying you alive to Chicago turning you feral over parking chairs, these places prove that pretty snow comes with ugly consequences. Does that mean they're bad places to live? Not necessarily. Some people thrive in the cold, the isolation, the chaos. But if you're moving somewhere based on Instagram vibes alone, you're not ready. Let me know in the comments which frozen hellscape surprised you the most and whether you'd actually survive it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.